Oh, hi. I did see you there. Welcome to another fantasy show. This is Chuck Bass. Let's talk about it, guys. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? It's Wednesday. The season's long and gone. The next season is longer and goner. What are we going to do? What is your life like? Let's talk about what your life is like. What is it like to be you? It's probably unsatisfying. You're watching a Wednesday night fantasy football show and a guy with a Roger Goodell poster above his head and an NFL hat on. I'm a man of the shield. I'm a man of the badge. I'm a man of you all. Look, I get it. Your job is unsatisfying. You've got a boss who's probably not qualified to be your boss. You're in a relationship that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Your heart's frozen over from constant threats of war in the South China Sea, and every commercial has somebody that you probably don't like. It's tough, right? So what do we have to look forward to? We have look forward to the 2025 Dynasty Rankings Player Profiler just updated, a whole new crop that you guys can find over there. A new top 5 for the spicy guys out there. Rookie ranks are looking good, looking hot. And guess what? They have entrusted me to make your life easier. If you sign up for the all-in package right now, you're going to get $25 off with the code CBASS. My browser failed to play this clip. That's just fucking great. My first tee up ever for a promo code in my whole life. And the browser, come on, there's no way it's not going to play this, right? Oh, for fucking 2. That's just so classic. That's just such a hot start, guys. Okay, well, the promo code CBASS, CBASS, we'll get that up on the screen at some point. We're not done there, though. Fast Draft is absolutely crushing it, guys. I'm fast drafting so much that I'm probably going to have to take out a third mortgage at some point because I already have a second one taken out. Flex 4 contests are live. Origins contests are live, which are awesome, especially with the combine just happening. Rookies are kind of flying. People are feeling different things, things they definitely shouldn't feel. And the D up contest is live. We're even dipping our toes in a little bit of IDP action. So make sure you guys are checking out all this stuff. 25% or $25 will get you a 100% match back. And then you're going to be taking my money as well because I play so much of these. You're going to see me in a lot of these drafts, and there's no doubt that you will be taking actual cash out of my pocket, out of my PayPal, out of my Venmo, out of my Cash App, anywhere that I'm storing money, trying to hide from the misses. So a lot of fun there. A lot of fun that can be happening tonight. Enough of me, enough of the bullshit. Let's bring on the man of the hour. I was very happy to get this guy. He's a busy guy. He's an international traveler. He is a consumer of small business products and large. Let's set the scene right now. The Fantasy Alarm head NFL analyst, Coop. What's up, bud?
What's up, dude? Yo, can you play that clip again? The one with that was just your screen?
Yeah, I got it.
There you go, folks. Promo code CBASS, whatever that, whatever that is, dude. Just honestly, really strong intro. That's exactly what I wanted to jump into. 2 hours of live radio, and then here we are doing this. That's good.
This is kind of the come down, right? Like everybody likes the after party more than the actual party themselves. We've all been there, and we've got some chat popping in. We've got some guys that I want to embarrass for a second. If you'll do me the honor, we've got Slashy, Destro. Slashy's loving. He's probably loving the South China Sea joke, is what I have to imagine. And then Player Profiler. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching the show, we would love a subscribe. We would love a like. We would love all the good stuff that makes us hot and heavy. Support us in all the ways that you can, and it would feel good. And Rachel, I will set the record for clicking a comment as it comes on. Always great to have her. She'll be following your footsteps not too long from now. I've got Rachel booked for one of these upcoming shows, and it's going to be a damn good time. What was I just talking about? I feel like I was talking about something.
How much Rachel rules? How much fast draft rules? How much Billy Muzio is just okay? But Theo Greminger, awesome. Matt Kelly, awesome. So glad to be here with the Player Profiler Network in the future, because we have important things to talk about, I think, today.
We do. We've got winners and losers and boozers and all kinds of stuff. You mentioned Theo and Matt and everybody. The Dynasty ranks are fantastic, guys. I was very excited. They are in classic Player Profiler fashion. They're not what you're seeing everywhere else. You're seeing actual sharps put their minds to the test, and I'm happy to be. I want you all to take advantage of all this because I'm in Dynasty leagues with several of the people that are going to be in the chat tonight. And Coop, I just wanted to get your quick reaction from somebody that I think is trying to fuck with me right now. And I just want to give you the opportunity to maybe put them on blast if that's possible. So let's get that up on the screen and let's get this. Now, when you see that, is that popping up for you clear as day? That little trade action right there?
Let's see, Marvin Harrison for Rashee Rice. And what's the third?
2025 3.02.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to fuck with you. You're getting in this one. You're getting Rice. You're getting Marv.
I'm getting Rice, who had a tremendous 2024, had played a lot of games, and then I'm getting a 2025 3.02 for Marvin Harrison Jr., a guy you're very familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, so a guy that Rashee Rice, dude, good player, maybe not super smart. Also got his knee chopped up by his own quarterback. The thing is, to me, 3rd-round picks, and again, I have some controversial takes when it comes to dynasty drafts. One of them is that 3rd-round picks don't necessarily care much about them. The hit rate on those picks is pretty brutal. You know, I guess 302 is towards the top, but not super interested, man. But Marvin Harrison Jr., and I got a big article up on him. Just Google Marvin Harrison Jr. Fantasy Alarm. I mean, this guy, he did everything right in his power. He just needs his quarterback to get through the read progressions to the second reads, to the next level. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to absolutely pop, man. So I don't know. I think that isn't a terrible trade, but in my opinion, the way I treat 3rd-round picks, he just offered you Rashee Rice straight up for Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm not.
It's a terrible trade every which way you look at it, and I agree with everything that you just said.
As a guest, I was going with the politically correct.
You can't be doing things like that if you want to be taken seriously as a podcaster, as a husband, as a drinker of fine beverages such as myself. I've got a little Eagle Rare in the tank tonight. I felt like it was.
I actually made this. This is a mixed drink that I made. It's called Cold Snap.
Cold Snap. Wow. So you brought the New England culture to London, I can tell.
That's true, dude. Dude, I want to bring their culture back here. I'm telling you, they got bar culture all figured out, dude.
They're the original They're the original bar culture.
Dude, the pub culture there is incredible. There's a bunch of things over there that they don't have figured out, though.
Okay.
Pub culture is one. We'll get to pub culture. One thing I gotta say right off the bat. One thing, the full English breakfast is dog food. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Everyone says, have you had a full English breakfast before?
That's so surprising because all I hear about British food is that it's fantastic and it has the highest approval rating of anywhere across the world. So I'm surprised to hear such things.
It is, dude. It's even worse than you think, though. Because it's like, I was like when we were going over there and I was like going on Reddit. I'm like, on the London subreddit, I'm like, where do I get fish and chips? And the responses are like, just go to a local chippy, mate. Like they know there's no like good restaurants. That's like the answers, right? It's like, or it's like they're like, try the Indian food. I'm like, dude, this isn't Indian. I'm like, you just
that's what you go to. That's what you go to London for, is to try the Indian food. Although that is what everybody raves about.
You do though, dude. You do go to London to try the Indian food.
Hey, can I try something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. That time,
I can't believe that's the clip.
So that time that time I actually liked it. I think it's growing on me. As somebody who's watching the intro, Slashy definitely put up those like laughing emojis the second time you play that video. That's not the 4th time, and I doubt it will be the last. But I mean, I gotta say, so back the full English breakfast. You've never had it?
The full English breakfast. I thought that was just supposed to be like sausage, right?
Dude. Sausage is part of it. Dude, the
bangers in the mouth,
bangers in your mouth, dude. They couldn't over there. They couldn't comprehend the lumberjack breakfast, how special it is. The full English breakfast, it is the best parts of it are the number one best part of it. And I had it twice over there, and this is like the 5th time I've had it. I keep giving it a chance. The toast was the best part, because the other things they put on your plate is like a mushroom, but not like diced mushrooms, like a full like toadstool mushroom. They take a tomato, right, and the recipe for a tomato for full English breakfast is just burn one side of it.
We're going to get this up on the screen here for people who are following in with us right now, because I really want to paint a picture, because you're doing something right now that I think is important. What are the specific keywords you would search here? Because I want to make sure I really nail this.
Full English. If you just type full English breakfast, you'll find it.
Full English breakfast. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. All right, people at home are really going to love this. Talking winners and losers tonight, folks. And losers is the full English breakfast. It's going to be our first NFL Combine loser of the segment. Loser. So why was it so bad?
I mean, dude, I've given it so many chances because people keep saying that it's going to be good. We're talking so eggs, which are universal normal, toast, and these are things that are on it every time. Toast is fine, right? Dude, a full mushroom. For some reason, a tomato that's burned on one side. That is every time I've ordered it, that's been included, right? But the sausage that you talk about, yeah, there you go, dude. And it looks good in the pictures. But here's the thing you're missing. The sausage that comes with it is something for some reason called blood sausage, which immediately, even though it's kind of just normal sausage, makes it taste bad. And then the beans over there. So see the beans on the plate? You think those are going to be like beans here? Not even close, bro. Beans here actually have like sugar, like cinnamon sugar, like sugar in them. Dude. Those beans are just like beans, like just.
The problem I think I have with what I'm looking at right now and what they're doing over there is that they're still eat like they're in 1941 wartime. The Germans are coming. The Germans are coming, and it's very frustrating.
It's real though. It is though, and it's cooked that way too. Like it was cooked in like a boot, like you know what I mean. They in a trench.
Well, that's tough. What were you over there for?
For the just.
Oh, no, sorry. You were there for the British Combine, right?
The British Combine, yeah, it was good. Yeah. All the British NFL players. I mean, like notably historically, Alexander Madison. I'm trying to think if there's ever been any British players. He just has the most British sounding name, right?
No, you know what's so funny is I got you on lock right now because I was just looking into this. I wanted to know who had, between Ukraine, Russia, China, who had, if any of them had NFL All Pros. None of them did. Ireland, 2 for 2 All Pros. Let's go to England here. England has one. They have one AP first team All Pro all time. Would love to know if you could guess this.
They've got
within the last 20 years.
Tyler Igby picking up rice at a church where a wedding has been.
How many times have you said what you just said? Because
this is number
organic one, dome shots on a Wednesday.
Dalton Schultz. Is it Dalton Schultz?
His first name is 3 letters, and he's a defensive lineman.
Defensive lineman, Uzi, or is it him?
Yep.
Okay, or he was for the Giants.
Yes, he was Giants, and he loved to take giant dumps on women. Those are the 2 buzzwords when it comes to OCU Minora.
And those are the 2 events of the combine in the British Combine. Yeah.
The British Combine. What would go down in the British Combine? Hey, Jeremy, good to see you, bud. Who would have thought they'd give this guy the best beans in London? I would have thought that. I would have thought that you would have been served on a silver platter.
Here's the real problem, Jeremy, is that I think they actually were the best beans in London. I think London. I think all the food in London is besides the fish and chips, which actually rules. But you can do fish and chips anywhere. Any idiot could do fish and chips.
All right. Well, this is good to hear. This is good to know because this is the travel section of the show that we do every time. We'd like to open with some common man things. Like every common man travels to London and gets the full breakfast and has a cold snap while they're at it. Another 3-letter first name British NFL player I can think of. Deep cut. Oh, there we go.
He gave it away.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna let us twist in the wind for a little bit. I'd love sweating on.
I would have. Yeah, there's only so many 3-letter name players. I would have guessed like a Bob, maybe. Bob Sanders.
Bob Sanders.
I mean, how many 3-letter name players? I guess there's a lot, actually. There's a lot of Treys.
If somebody asked you to name NFL safeties from 20 years ago, how many would you name before you got to Bob Sanders?
I mean, probably only like 5. I guess you would go. Yeah, I guess you would go 20 years ago. Seems longer
15,
than it is.
Yeah.
Like you go Polamalu, right? Ed Reed, Brian Dawkins,
Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor is what I was going to say next. And then I would probably as a Patriots fan, I would say like Laura Malloy.
Buffalo. But yeah.
First of all, How dare you? First of all,
that's all he's really known for in this modern era is the Buffalo thing. Yeah, well,
no,
for
non-Patriots
fans, the rest of this is what happens with you guys up there. You guys don't understand the zeitgeist when it comes to these guys. You ask 100 NFL fans across the country about Lawyer Malloy, they're going to think about that Week 1 Patriots Buffalo game. 2004 season, is that what it was?
Okay, yeah, fine, but he had all 4 of his total. He had all 4 of his. He was better here. He played there for a while.
Yeah,
like a little
bit.
No, dude, that's whack.
I love thinking that's one of the most fondest eras of football for me, because I think that it didn't weigh me down like it weighs me down now. It really gets to my soul and hurts me. And back then, it was just like euphoric optimism. I wanted everybody to do well.
Yeah, the thing is, when I was a kid, I did get my heart ripped out a lot more when guys got traded or moved, because that didn't really make sense to me, you know.
Sure.
And we had quite a bit of that when I was like 8 or 9. Like we lost, Nomar Garciaparra when he left. I was like, what?
We're not no baseball talk. Sorry.
I was like, that's our Jeter. Okay, so even part of me, I was like, that's our steroid Italian Jeter that would spend too much time at the plate. No baseball talk, but like even dude, listen to this one, dude, right? So when I was a kid, me and my sister both got cats, dude, right? She got a white cat, I got a black cat.
Sure.
Now that's just the colors of the cats. It has nothing to do with the naming of the cats,
of course.
But I named my cat Curtis Martin, because he was the running back for the Patriots, dude. Yeah. Within 1 year, Curtis Martin got traded, right, to the Jets.
So did you trade the cat? How does that work when it comes to animal policy?
So, dude, I just had to look at him differently. I was like, are you going to turn on us? You just, so you got this cat. First, one thing, this cat's in your house, dude. He's running for 1,400 yards every season. Next thing you know, he's in your neighbor's house, dude, and you hate your neighbor, and your neighbor steals your head coach, and he steals your punter, Tom Tupa. And it's like nothing's ever the same, dude. You know what I mean? It's like those are things you go through as a kid where you're just like, I don't get why my cat just left to play for the Jets. Dude, and it's like those things stick with you. So it's
but your cat is immortalized in the Lil Wayne song Kush when he references Curtis Martin, one of the only rappers from the turn of the century to mention Curtis Martin in any of his rap songs that wasn't from New York, at least.
It's also because it's not a super cool name. I have to admit, like as far as like there's guys Orlando Scandrick and Mercedes Lewis, like with those guys floating around. Curtis Martin has got to be one of the lamest names. So you're a baller if you're getting in rap songs with a name like that.
But running back, like sure, in the grand scheme of like NFL, perhaps, but running backs, they just have those like bang bang names: Adrian Peterson, Curtis Martin. Barry Sanders. When you start listing them out, they flow a little bit more.
But Curtis Martin, I don't know. It's kind of a nerd name.
Is it the Curtis or the Martin?
I think it's the Curtis. It's the Curtis. It's the Curtis for sure. It's the Curtis. Because if you swap out, if his name's like Jamarcus Martin, I mean, now you're talking.
Why Jamarcus? Interesting that would be the first name that you pull.
Because that's just a boss name, dude. First overall pick. Big, strong arm quarterback. I mean, he didn't do any of the work required. Did you ever hear the Jamarcus
$100 bill?
Oh, what's the $100 bill?
No, not $100 bill. I'm sorry. I'm stealing money. I'm mixing up my the draft day movie where they basically just took the Jamarcus Russell story and they made it their own thing. You're talking about like the videotape with
the blank tape.
Yeah. So in draft day, for anybody who's unfamiliar, they put $100 bill at the back of like the playbook or something like that. And then when they give the playbook back, if the $100 bill is still there, then they know that they didn't dig into the playbook at all. But that is pretty good though, right? I gotta give them credit. It's a terrible movie, but
they just gave him a blank tape and he just never plugged it in. Jamarcus, he was like, they were like, "What'd you think about that?" He's like, "Oh yeah." So yeah.
So at what point do we get the coaches involved and put some of the spotlight and the failure on them for not really motivating this guy to look at tape?
Dude, I don't know. With certain people, it's so hard to do that, especially when the more and more I look at this stuff, the more you realize it's a workplace. And like you are so busy doing your job at work And then the people that come into work, like at work, seem like they're doing their job. So it's so hard to know if they're not doing their job and if they don't care. It's just like I don't know. And then there's enough guys that don't care that are just incredible that you're just like, all right, whatever. It's just how do you teach a guy to care? And I think that's what this show is all about. I think that's what another fantasy show is truly about. And it really goes out to you guys listening. Because we obviously care so much, and we're going to get to the combine winners and losers at some point for sure. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly tonight. And it's like when you care at the level that we do, then I think it's inspirational. I think that's the only way to make a guy like Jamarcus Russell care.
Do you know what the difference between me and Jamarcus Russell is? It's growth. It's growth.
Sir, please. Oh, believe me, I would never do anything to offend a man of your size. Kick his ass, Seabass!
Because you grow.
That's how we grow. Ladies and gentlemen, promo code CBASS, 100% match on Fast Trap up to $25. And Player Profiler, all-in package, $25 off. Promo code CBASS. Clip it, rip it, let it go.
Can you play that? Can you play that? The Player Profiler all-in package clip again?
I deleted that one already.
No, you should have kept
that one's gonna go. It might make for a good running bit. I realized that was from a work email that I got sent to me, and I downloaded the wrong one in a scuzzle in a hurry. I was panicking. I was trying to get my setup going, my very well articulated setup that you can see behind me.
It looks good.
It's okay. It's not great. I don't know what to do with these things ever. Yours is very well done. Yours is very classic sports guy. Allegiances are set. I can tell a lot about you just from your background. I struggle with mine.
With the hats here, the rest of this room is actually pretty much a disaster, but that's, behind me pretty good right now. So
have you ever done a show, Hatless?
Yeah, I've done a few. Usually after I get a haircut, I haven't got one in a while. But, this is the Hatless portion of the show. Usually, don't you play like
there we go.
We do the Hatless part.
Oh yeah. Where we go? Right here. I got it right here. Come on, you fucker. Where'd you go? Oh yeah, I actually do have. It's actually labeled Hatless right here. This is perfect.
Yeah, there you go, please. Because it was in the show sheet that you were going to play a clip.
Yeah, but it keeps wanting me to play the other one, which is I know that's all anybody wants, but oh my god, why are you not playing? This is just classic stuff right here.
Yeah, we might have to go overtime because I knew we were going to do 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes is going to be good.
I got it right here. Here we go.
And you've gotten into several fights with Mike from Adventure 365, who runs the zip line.
He's just too excited. He's too rough on the rope.
Shut up, Mike.
He pulls on the rope. He wrenches on the rope. He thinks it's his.
Shut up, Mike.
It's just you yanked on the rope so hard.
I said shut up, Mike.
And is it...
All right. I've been looking for a clip that was over 17 seconds long so I could get up and shut my door. I'm going Hatless for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I mean, like, not having a good hair day here.
It's Wednesday. Who needs good hair? How was the hair in London? Was it hot?
I mean, honestly, it was a little bit long. I was kind of blindsided. Didn't really get to get a haircut, but I kind of, you kind of come over this way and make it work. But yeah,
nice.
That's probably why. Yeah, that's probably why we're doing a little hat today. But
all right, so I got one for you. I'm going to set the scene a little bit. So, guys, we're talking NFL Combine winners and losers, and the number one top of the list loser for me has to be Starbucks. Starbucks took a big hit reputation wise. So I won't regale the listeners because I'm sure everybody's familiar. And if you guys are just new to the show right now, don't forget to smash that like button, follow us, comment, everything we're talking about right now. If you were going to be accosted in a Starbucks and things looked like they were potentially going to get physical, what's the move? What do you do?
That's interesting because a lot of the items, I mean, here's the thing. Hot coffee, I think, is a little too violent. It's too assaulty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to know the law. You got to know.
You gotta know the law, dude.
These guys that are on the streets, they know their law. They know to shoot beneath the kneecap to avoid attempted murder. They know.
And Jordan Schultz, I mean, he probably knows everything about Starbucks law because his dad owns it. Right.
Home field advantage for sure. It's definitely like when the Final Four team, the number one seed gets to pick where they play in March Madness. Like he knew where to accost him. That's a good point. I don't know if anyone else has talked about that.
I think it was a pretty key. I think it's either ironic or it was on purpose for him to pop the brand like that. I mean, whose team are you on in this instance? Are you team Schultz or team who's Rapaport, right?
I always take the taller guy. Almost always. It's pretty universal for me when it comes to these things. I feel like the bigger guy, maybe not stature wise, but the taller guy usually comes out. Yeah. He can rain down on him on some way.
But I like him better than Schultz too. Like I think that's part of it. Is that I think I would.
You like Rapaport better, or you like Schultz better?
I mean, I like them both. I just think in this instance, maybe Rapaport was right. So
Now, interesting. Now, expand on that. What was he? Why do you believe he was in the right?
I just think that the whole. Correct me if I'm wrong. The whole thing was based on Schultz was trying to say. Actually, give us a little recap because I've heard different sides of the story. I want to hear it because you said you were going to recap it.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so my understanding was that
I've got tweets to tweet, man. I can't be diving.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, they basically had two. It was on the air.
It was the Matthew Stafford.
It was the Matthew Stafford meeting with Tom Brady thing, and they had
Montana
differing takes on it. And I think that Schultz was pushing the collusion angle, the tampering angle, and Rapaport was like, no, it's not. And then it came out that Rapaport was right. Okay. Then it turned into this whole thing where like Schultz was accusing Rapaport of previously saying that Schultz was giving people Uber stock for tips, which, well, I gotta say this, okay? If that's made up, Rapaport, dude, he's like the J.R. Tolkien of our like time of making up like believable.
Yeah,
I mean, because it's like of all the things, it's like why wouldn't you just say money? Like why wouldn't you say, oh, he's giving money? No, he was like transferring Uber stock. It's like, dude, of course.
Inviting SEC investigation threat looming over the entire thing.
I'm like, it's totally believable on Rapaport's side. And if Rapaport, here's the other part of it, is if Rapaport made that part up, that's even more incredible. And I think he deserves even more credit for that.
So Uber stock right now is 76.48. It's up 1.62% on the day. Didn't close very well for whatever the reason may be. This is interesting.
Having a great story. Having a good year though.
Is it having a good year? Year to date, we are up 21%. Wow. Okay, so it's clear to me that this is true.
And let's consider the timeline of when he would be giving the stock. He'd be giving that stock during the football season. So for those tips.
Sure. So this is almost like it's almost like a short sell situation. This is fascinating. This is why people want to know what's going on.
And Flashy's got in the chat, winner Uber. So we had the first loser was full English breakfast, or what was the first loser? I forget now.
The first loser was me for not playing the right clip, and then not playing the right clip 4 consecutive times. And then the second loser was we're going to say all of England, the entire empire, domestic, colonial, anything like that for over the course of, I don't know, 2,000 years, never improving their full English breakfast.
Just crazy. Anything, bro. Anything.
Not even one time.
Their food is just it's just rough, dude. It's like, dude, literally we asked the person at the hotel where to eat, and she's like, oh, you're in London, just go on out there, and it's right there, isn't it? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they're like, go outside. Apparently, like the way I guess it works is that like everybody that visits, like they just imagine that we're from some like cottage at the other side of England, like the United Kingdom, and they're like, oh, you're here, all the good food's here, and I'm like, dude, no, I'm from a place where there's actual good food. Like,
so what is it about the Cockney accent in particular that you found yourself attracted to? Because you really went for like 1930s Depression London.
Should I go for more of like a Green Street Hooligans, like a Manchester United? We get a point at the Manchester
Can you do like the top trader for Citibank's London office in 2011?
I think I can only do Cockney.
I know that's really specific.
I can only do like the Cockney or street vendors. What was Citibank London?
Yeah, I got my algorithm on YouTube threw me to He was the top. He was the most profitable trader for Citibank in the entire world in 2011, and it was like 40 minutes of him explaining what that was like. But he was like our age, I'm pretty sure. He's young as fuck.
And you watched that to prepare for the show to do your accent?
No, I watched it before I went into work for my Pepsi job, just for additional motivation and just trying to grind in a department where I am a one of one. So, just trying to get something going.
It's like when I used to watch Boiler Room before I went in to sell mortgages to lending leads.
Oh, is this when you would watch it and you're on the ground in your apartment with no other furniture?
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's me. I got a ridiculous house at the. Okay, let me go back to okay. So I'm an executive. Hello, governor. I'm here selling the stocks and the bonds and the like in it, and here we are. And you take the lift and you kiss your mom, and that's how you get to the top, my mates. So was that similar to the video?
That's going to be the promo for the show. That will be added in as a clip for all future.
And that's how you get to the top, me mates.
I might make the promo code. I might change it from Seabass to Cockney.
Yeah.
And
I do appreciate the dry British humor. We were walking by this guy on the street, and he was like, come on. He's like, come on. It was like, he obviously saw we were tourists. He's like, come on, we got the boat rides right here. Come on in. And I was like, no, thanks. And he just looked at us. He goes, spectacular. Just spectacular. I was like, all right, dude.
You think that he knows that he's being broadcasted to the whole world on a Wednesday night fantasy football show?
He was broadcasting himself to the whole street outside the London Eye,
To outside the London Eye. Did you get inside a red telephone booth?
No, I did that when I was on my honeymoon, and this time I just acted like an adult.
Smart. When I was younger, my brother was like, "You got to get in one of these. Everybody does it," and I did it, and I got in, and he called me gay as soon as I got in. So,
and again, folks, this is a story from that era. So,
yeah, it was different times. The people were doing different things. They were into all kinds of different stuff back then. It was really interesting. It was really a lot of fun.
Promo code governor. There we go. Destro Designs has it. There you go.
Destro is one of the OGs. He's another one I'm in a league right now. He hasn't quite fished any of these picks out of my pocket. I was in 3 consecutive slow drafts in the entire month of February, and that was something. I got to tell you, it was quite a rush. It was quite a time. It was pretty brutal. It wasn't great.
Yeah. Startups right now, I feel like you got to be nuts. You're doing startups right now. I saw you tweet the other day that you were like trying to get one going. I'm like, this is right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going through a tough time. It was pretty cold out, and baby was crying a lot. Just trying to figure out some way to get through each and every day.
PUBG was doing an update.
PUBG was doing an update. Should we talk about PUBG?
There better not be an update tonight.
No, there shouldn't be. I was on earlier today, and it was no dice. I was 1v4 squad wiped. Won the match. However, it was intense battle royale, so you can't really brag about it to anybody other than us. What are you gonna do?
Are we doing battle royale tonight? This is a little peek behind the curtain, folks, on fantasy football in the combine and stuff. Like what kind of we do to get ready for shows like this.
It's important, and we've got a third member that we're going to be roping into the crew here. We've got Fantasy Alarm represented by the gorgeous man on the screen right now. The PlayerProfiler network, myself, and then newly minted FTN Tyler O. Potentially joining the. I don't know about tonight. I reached out to him. I hadn't heard back, but we'll see what's been going on. But we're building. This is the future. People were doing. They were doing radio. Can you imagine doing radio in 2025? Absolutely insane. They were doing radio, and now they're doing podcasts, and then they're doing OnlyFans, and then they're doing Xbox Live.
Yeah. That was the time if you could link those all together. And Tyler O does have an incredible OnlyFans. Like I know most people know
Tyler OnlyFans. Yeah,
Tyler OnlyFans. I know most people know him from PUBG and from being the #1 Fantasy Pros ranker this year. But the OnlyFans.
Well, yeah. You just wish we were giving out that kind of stock for tips. Forget Uber. Forget any of these other monkey business, low grade, beta stocks. I want OF stocks.
Is OnlyFans public? Oh, it's private.
I think it's probably on the deep web, probably a little, there's probably a little, they're trading. I just don't know if it might be in human lives.
The tabs on my other screen now are Full English Breakfast, Lawyer Molloy Stats, and OnlyFans Stock.
Mm. They're never going to figure out what you were up to on the other end.
They know what we got going on here. Pretty important. And now PUBG update as well. There is no update today, so pretty good.
That's good to hear. That's what I want. Well, you know what? We wanted to make sure we covered everything today, guys. The winners, the losers, the combine. It came, it went, and the season's over. So we have to move on to bigger and brighter things. We've got free agency ahead. What are you excited about in the next couple of weeks? What are you feeling hot and bothered about?
I am excited for free agency coming up on Monday. We're gonna actually talk a little football. Are you down for that?
Yeah, we got to get out of here in a little bit, so we might as well give the people a little good.
Yeah, so I have a free agency series up right now where I cover every single team. We've hit we only got like 5 or so left because there's only like 5 or so days left. Like on Monday, free agency opens, Monday the 10th. So the legal tampering period, but like every deal is going to get announced on Monday. And you know what? It's just like this is like how I get ready to do my mock drafts and to do the draft stuff. A lot of people skip over it, which quite frankly annoys me because I want to talk about rookies and do all that stuff, but I like to do this.
It's putting the cart before the horse. This is what it's all built around.
You can't go back. We have 50 days until the draft, right? So like, sure, you can get your takes out now, right? And you can be first, and I think that's really cool. Being first, but being right, I think is almost as important as being first, right? Like
it's the only thing you can fall back on once the season has actually ended. You can point to as tangible evidence and say, "How about this, motherfucker?"
Yeah, like that's the thing is like if you were to like feel how Twitter feels about prospects, it's like people would rather instead of being 100% right, they'd rather be 90% right but be first. And I think that is that's a pretty cool way to live. But for me, I try to
it's disposable. It's disposable living.
I like to take it all in. We'll have our rankings up well in time for you to do your draft. They'll be up on the Sunday after the draft. And unless you do your dynasty draft during the draft, does anybody do like their dynasty like first round after the first round of the NFL draft? I don't think so. Right?
Should we get that going? Should we get the listeners involved? Should we create a little buzz, create a little starstruckness?
I think so. I mean, the chat, let us know, winner or loser, drafting your fantasy, forcing your friends to draft their dynasty draft as the NFL draft is happening, like as the picks.
I like that. There seems to be an untapped market right there. What do you think about when people, I had somebody message me and invite me to do a draft, a full dynasty startup with the rookies as available picks without knowing what team they're going to. How do you feel about that?
I think I had to do that at 1:00 today, in a mock draft, and I was which I did it with Jeremy Schoen. It was actually a lot of fun, but Joey Wright was in there, which kind of ruined the whole vibe. But everybody else, I thought everybody else was great, and I don't know. I think it's like this game is so random already. So why are you adding another level of randomness to this game that is permanent for the next like 5 years?
I don't know. It's like when you've had 15 beers, why not have a 16th?
I think, and then now you're really
That's
which brings me back to pub culture if we have time.
PUBG, pub culture, you name a pub, we're on it tonight.
It's that kind of show. Dude, here, I'm telling you, when you go over there, right? First thing, you walk in, it's crowded, but they always leave a spot open at the bar. They don't nobody grabs the seat at the bar and just sits there and hogs the whole thing. They always leave a spot open because the whole idea is you're going to grab your drink and you're going to move, right?
Yeah.
The number one thing, no tipping there, right? So you walk up and you say a couple Guinnesses and a foofy beer from my foofy friend, and then you tap the thing and it's just done. You have the beers and you're gone. And here's the biggest thing is that you can just take them outside. Like they just treat you like an adult. Like everyone you grab your beer and you just walk outside with it. Glass, right? And it's just like in Boston, I would be tackled to the ground for trying to attempt such a thing. Out there, it's just like, no, it's like this is the pub. Everybody, knows everybody except for me. I'm the outsider, but still the rules. I'm trusted to take a beer outside, and I think that like we were drinking outside beers all week. No, I didn't drink a single inside beer. Inside beers are garbage now. Outside beers is the only way.
Cigs inside, beers outside.
Dude, I think that there were definitely some bars there that were cig inside bars, dude. Like, but
that's for all that their culture is ripe for comedy and really easy to pick apart in a lot of fun ways, and some of them pretty devastating.
Brutal.
They do have all that figured out, and they've had it figured out.
certain
They've had it
things.
figured out for a long time.
Yeah, like the
Things that are important to me.
Sunday dinner. Have you ever heard of the Sunday roast that they do?
That's like a potluck, right?
It's like everybody just drinks and then they go out and they eat. Like you go to the local restaurant and they just have like a big roast and everyone just eats it and then they drink a little more and then they go home and go to bed. That's just what you do on Sunday.
I like that. That's like kind of what I do on Sunday, only without anybody else there, and it's usually DoorDash.
It's usually DoorDash, and you don't stop drinking because there's a night game.
No, who's got time for that? Who's got time? I gotta be just. I'm down 50 with Rashee Rice going into the third round pick going into the Sunday night game. So that's always going to be fun. All right, Coop. We did winners.
Good question. Good question in the chat from JP.
What's he popping in for right here? My Firefox is going on nuts out. Do you guys ever talk about football? All we did was talk about football, I feel like. We talked about Rashee Rice. We talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. We talked about Roger Goodell, Jordan Schultz. We talked about Lawyer Malloy, Bob Sanders, Barry Sanders. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. Yeah. We talked about FA and USO and pretty much the whole gang. I mean,
the whole gang.
Is there anything, JP? Well, now is an opportunity. Chat, is there a player that you wanted us to name drop on the show? Because I think now would be probably like the last chance.
Yeah, this is an opportunity. This is an interactive show. We like to make the chat as much of a part of this as, a mediator is a part of a divorce. So it's important to me that we get you guys' opinions, whether they're good or they're bad. They're almost always bad. How about some combine-ish like Fannin? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, So Fannin is one of the premier restaurants in Indianapolis. I think Pat McAfee actually had an issue getting in there. That's why they're not going to Green Bay. I just saw today that they're going to be doing their entire draft show from the Thunderdome. Only 4 stars on Yelp, which could be an issue. But I mean, restaurant talk's restaurant talk.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, I'll give you a take on Fannin. I got a take. Tight end guy. So Fannin. He's one of the guys.
He will be one of the available players.
I will say this. Fannin, after the combine and the tape on this guy, it's entirely dependent on him landing in a spot that's going to utilize a guy like that, because everyone looks at the stats that he put up and they are incredible, but he was doing it at Bowling Green. Okay. And I've seen, if you go and look at the highlights, obviously he put it together in a single year where he's peppered. But if you go and look at highlights for Kylan Granson and Jacob Hollister, these guys are playing a similar wide receiver type role at that level of competition and doing very similar things. He wasn't doing like extraordinary things like in the way he breaks tackles or hurdling guys. He's not particularly fast. I think that he's a JT Sanders type player that could be a big slot if he's drafted to the right spot. The thing about being a big slot player is that you need a coach that's willing to make you an every down full-time player, right? So he doesn't really have the size. He doesn't really have the speed. He needs somebody that's willing to say, this guy is going to be our big slot player. A coach like Chan Gailey, right? Chan Gailey, once upon a time, used Tony Gonzalez. He used Mike Gesicki. He used Eric Decker. Eric Decker, of course, being a wide receiver, but he used him as a big slot player. If someone is willing to have him as an every down player out of the slot, like Evan Ingram, then he will have upside. My concern for him is that he won't be that type guy, and then he'll just end up being another Kylan Granson or Cameron Brate or Anthony Ferkser, where the team says that we can use this guy on particular downs, third downs, but he's just in a rotation. He'll never have that upside to be a top 2 target on his team. So there is upside for this player. I think he is better than Kylan Granson, but he's just not in the tier that you're going to see guys like Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. Is that a good football talk, JB?
I mean, anytime you can compare, you can get Cameron Brate, Harvard grad, Buccaneers legend into the mix. You've got to do it.
And he's a professional football player. He was around for many. I say that as in there are guys like Chris Conley. Chris Conley's been in the league for like 10 years. He can play special teams. He can sub in. He does a lot of things. He's a professional football player. There's no question about it. Cameron
Teams
Brate
valued him.
Teams value him. Cameron Brate played for a long time, but can he be an every down player to the point where he's a top 2 target on his team? I think it's possible. The landing spot will dictate everything. If he goes to a team that has another tight end that's going to rotate with him, that's bad. If he goes to a team that has a slot wide receiver, right? Like if he goes like a pure slot, like if he goes to a team like that has CeeDee Lamb, right? Like who plays a ton of slot. If he goes to a team that has Chris Godwin or any of those guys, how do you put that guy in the slot over them? He needs to be the guy. If he goes to a team like the Bengals where they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, how do you get enough targets to him? You take every team and you take every wide receiver and every tight end and put them all into a bucket. The guy that was third on his team in targets and scored the most fantasy points was Rashad Bateman, right? And he was wide receiver 40. It's just very rare to have a third guy on the team being fantasy relevant. So the conditions for a guy like Harold Fannin to be fantasy relevant are very specific and very niche. And the draft is going to be huge for that.
Yeah, that feels like a very minimal career with maybe a few random seasons popped in here and there. But
if a team drafts him in the second round and says, "Hey, we have one wide receiver we love, and our second pass catcher is going to be this guy. We're going to lean on him," the way that teams did with Dalton Kincaid, and Kincaid hasn't really popped, but they've trusted him to be a top target of the team. Sam Laporta, like if a team drafts him that high and trusts him like that, then that matters. That's why for me, Harold Fannin is a guy that absolutely the draft is going to dictate how I feel about the player.
Are you concerned with the image that I have pulled up that he's not celebrating with his teammates? He's doing his own thing in the end zone. Maybe potentially a me first guy who could have some character concern issues.
So I watched every target for this player, and I'll tell you, there are some there's a ton of him doing that. And there's one thing, dude, he loves doing the double guns. And I'm talking like not just like pointing at a first down. He pulls out the guns and he's like, bop, 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 like this. I'm like, dude, you got to stop doing that because in the NFL, that's 15.
I'm coming around on it. You had me at double guns. I'll
tell you, he's got dance moves on moves. Like I'm talking, I don't think I saw him do the same touchdown dance twice. And sometimes his teammates do know the moves. Like they're teaching me how to Dougie, all that, dude. Like he does bust it. Like if you want swag, he's got swag. No question about it.
No question about it. I noticed he put the hat bag on. I don't know when that happened. I wasn't informed. I want to apologize. I want to apologize to everybody out there for the inconsistency in the programming tonight.
Almost immediately, I was put back on.
So the Patriots take Fannin with the 36th pick. How are you feeling?
The thing is, we already have a Harold Fannin. His name's Jaheim Bell, and I'll tell you, Gerald Everett and Jonnu Smith are just they're much faster than Harold Fannin. He didn't run well. He ran like a 4.69. Not great, dude. And yeah,
not great.
Pudding, gross. Yeah, now we get
okay. We did our foray. We did our thing. We talked football this entire show.
I don't know why I'd also be so combative and spiteful about answering a question about football. I think we were. I mean, did we say this was going to be a football show?
It's another fantasy show, and that's just how we do things around here. We talk about players, talk about things that involve the league. We talk about fantasy. You had a J.R. Tolkien reference, I think, at some point. I mean, we've covered every single possible fantasy thing that could be going on. What's important is that we're here for you guys when you need us the most, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling clowned. So we are going to wrap things up a little bit right here. I do want to thank the chat for showing up. I want to thank everybody for their involvement. Coop, tell the people where they can find you, what you have coming up, and what makes you get up in the morning.
For sure, dude. Just talking football, talking just whatever with you, Chuck. Because I mean,
football mainly, but yeah,
football mainly. But every once in a while, you got to just jump on and talk with the gang. And I'll tell you, you can find all my stuff over at FantasyAlarm. We had a very good year in 2024. We're gonna have an even bigger one in 2025. And I'll be on the next 2 nights, SiriusXM. Every Thursday and Friday, I'm on SiriusXM channel 87, 6 to 8 p.m. So, and then on Twitter at Coop A Fiasco. That's kind of the easiest way to find. My stuff is really tight knit. We keep it right at the Fantasy Alarm,
I don't know. I can't listen to anything you say when JP wants to talk about more Ben Snot takes as we're trying to get out of here. As we're getting these plugs going.
As of this moment, I would rank Benson not third. I would rank him third behind Colston Loveland, behind Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. If a guy like Terrence Ferguson or Tyler or Harold Fannin or any of those guys goes early second or obviously first round to a good landing
Mhm.
spot, then I might change my opinion, especially if Zach Ertz gets re-signed. But I think Sanat, I like the profile. I like the possibility that he could take over that Zach Ertz role as soon as this year. So I think as of this moment, I would rank him third just because we don't know what the draft is going to give us. We don't know what the professionals believe about these players.
It's hard to imagine the Commanders without Zach Ertz and Bobby Wagner, two guys that have been there for a long time, that have piled up a long, successful career in Washington. Moving on from them could be a problem.
Yeah, I think they're statues due for sure for both players, really, just Commanders legends.
Commanders legends, boy. We're the Commanders legends, if you ask me. Nobody did ask me,
Okay.
but that's okay. All right. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I am Chuck Bass. This has been another fantasy show. We've got a really, really fun offseason for you guys. We're going to be here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. talking football as always, giving you guys winners, losers, ups, down, lefts, rights, dynasty startups, fast drafts. We're going to be doing everything and anything in the sun. So I appreciate your time. Happy to have you guys here. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Cheers.
I am proud to announce that Fast Draft now has an all-defense game called D-Up. That's right, fans of IDP finally have a real money best ball game. I am proud to announce that Fast Draft now has an all-defense game called D-Up. That's right, fans of IDP finally have a real money best ball game that they can play. No more manually setting up leagues every time you want to do a draft. No. Now you can play for 10 grand, 2,000 to first. Could draft up to 30 teams, all defense. And the best part, balanced scoring, tackles for loss, pass breakups. It all factors in. Just draft 6 defensive players, top 4 into your lineup every week. It's that easy. It's so easy that this isn't just for IDP people. If you love the NFL, then you'll love this game. And for the first time with Fast Draft, you can sweat both sides of the ball on Sunday. So use your host's promo code to get a $25 deposit match, and you'll love this D-Up contest because it's about time we got one.